All right, we're back. Episode number, I forgot. Worst to best, album reviews, discography. We're going to do, of my top 10 favorite bands, this band's probably number 10. Maybe 8 or 9, I don't know. The Blue Oyster Cult. I've been teasing it since, I don't know, the first video of these? Some other channel beat me to it because I was dragging my feet doing these things, and he got like, I don't know, like 10,000 hits. I looked at, I was like, that could have been me. But I'm not ripping off Sea of Tranquility. I think that's the name of the channel. I'm just not very original. I didn't know until after I decided I was going to. I worked on this list like a while ago, but I refined it listening to them a lot lately. We're going to do the Blue Oyster Cult. I'm going to say first off, they got lots of great albums. Got a lot of crap in there too. I'm actually rereading my list. I have 4 of them I don't have hard copies of. I only got as downloads. So bear with me here. Starting at number 15. Not really a Blue Oyster Cult full album. Oh, we're also not doing live albums and greatest hits, like I always said. As far as we're not doing bad live albums and greatest hits, I will throw this one in. This is the Bad Channel soundtrack. Second disc of this is all them doing a score to some obscure movie from the early 90s. And they got 2 original songs on the first disc and a bunch of indie bands, indie metal, funk metal bands, weird stuff. I like it. I like the weird other bands on here too, and the 2 songs that they have, Demon's Kiss and Horsemen Arrive, they're kind of good, well, good, higher quality, mediocre Blue Oyster Cult songs. And the other stuff, the soundtrack stuff is cool, little mood music, but I can't in good consciousness give this anything but last place. It's just a soundtrack album. Tidbit, I remember seeing an ad for that movie or the soundtrack, so either one, I think, on the Headbangers Ball back in the early 90s. And it's weird because nobody was mentioned Blue Oyster Cult at that point anywhere. 14 and 13 are kind of a tie. One of them I have the disc of, the other one I don't, because the other one's out of print. So, gotta download that one. Heaven Forbid and Curse of the Hidden Mirrors. I have seen Blue Oyster Cult 3 times. See them once probably every 8 or 9 years or so, and it was a little after Curse of the Hidden Mirrors came out, and that was like 10 years in between their last album and them getting another record deal, and they weren't really doing anything other than that Bad Channel soundtrack, and the magic was kind of gone. Every time I see them, it's just like the cool weirdness of them isn't there, and yeah, this album doesn't embarrass itself, and neither does Curse of the Hidden Mirrors, but their edge is gone, and they're just an old, like an oldies act at this point, which is kind of sad. They're fun, I liked them, but knowing that they were on the Black and Blue tour in 1980 with Black Sabbath and having, playing big arenas with laser light shows, it was kind of sad seeing them at first in a little club in Connecticut. The other 2 times I seen them were at like free outdoor festivals. One was a Portuguese feast, and another one was a free show somewhere in Albany. And no memorable songs really. See You in Black, the first song off of Heaven Forbid. Yeah, maybe that's the only one I kind of really like, but I don't know. Or what was the other song? No, the Stilt song. Who cares? 14 and 13, they're a tie. It was over. It's over. I'm sorry. Number 13. Also don't have a hard copy of it. Revolution by Night. This is where you can really trace the band and they never came back. Starts with one really, really good song, Take Me Away. And the other big hit off that is Shooting Shark, which I don't really like. It's on the Greatest Hits albums. And every time I seen them, they played it live, and they keep trying to make it happen. It's not good. The rest of the songs are really boring. And I like the two albums that were before it, Fire of Unknown Origin and CULTOSAURUS ERECTUS. They were good. Martin Birch did those. This, I don't know who produced it, but there's no recovering after this. They never made a really good album ever again. They made one okay album after that, but we'll get into that a lot later. So then we're going to go number 11. Don't have a hard copy. This is the last one where I don't have... No, there's one more that I don't have a hard copy of. The STALR-FORREST group, before they were Blue Oyster Cult, they were put out... They were signed by some record company as STALR-FORREST group, and they put out an album called St. Cecilia. A lot of the bits and pieces from that got recycled later into other songs. You can even get like half of that album as the bonus tracks off of the first Blue Oyster Cult album. It's cool, it's interesting. I don't think it's essential because you're getting a lot of that stuff elsewhere, but you know, we're going to leave that there. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because nobody's going to buy that anyway. It's not quite canon. Number 10, Mirrors. This is also after a good start for them. They went into a lull. The second album of their lull, where they were trying to become more of a pop band instead of like a weird hard rock metal prog weird stuff that they were good for. Starts with Dr. Music, which is them trying to, I guess, have a hit. And the Vigil on there sounds kind of like Pink Floyd-y and proggy and cool. Envy is where they're trying to go for like a hit song, and I like it. The rest of it's forgettable. But actually, like, not one song on that is as good as Take Me Away, which is on the album before, but that whole other rest of that album sucked. So here we're going to go. We're going up to number 9. This is usually the bottom of the list for everybody else, is Club Ninja. Ba-bam! But I really like Dancing in the Ruins. That's a good song. Make Rock Not War. It's kind of laughably doofy title. I kind of like that song. Kind of rocks. Other people like Perfect Water. Even like a bad Blue Oyster Cult album, I like the weird 80s sound to it. Even though there's like 3 of them left. Alan Lanier left, and Albert Bouchard was gone. It's okay. It's another one it's kind of forgettable. This is like a shame. Like the bottom half of their list is so like forgettable. And number 8 is the beginning of their 70s decline, SPECTRES. It's got some good stuff on it, but it's like a total like mixed bag. Godzilla's on there. Golden Age of Leather. I don't like that song. I've seen them play that live once. I was like, oh. Couldn't we get like, you know, Veteran of a Psychic War? No. Are You Ready to Rock? That's kind of good. Going Through the Motions, that was also on Greatest Hits. I kind of like that one too. The rest of the stuff is just kind of forgettable. You know, Death Valley Nights, it's kind of like a minor hit they play here and there. I Love the Night is, they kind of play that here. That one doesn't blow me away. We got better hits elsewhere. This album bombed when it came out, but it was a bit of like an artistic comeback, even though it's not really a Blue Oyster Cult album. Imaginos. Albert Bouchard. Kicked out of the band, quit, whatever. Gotta ask different stories between everybody involved. But this was his solo album. The record company didn't want to put it out. I was like, we can't sell. This is too freaking weird. Go get some of the other Blue Oyster Cult guys. Put something else. We can slap the B.O.C. name onto it. And guess what? It ended up kind of good. I got the bootleg of the original Albert Bouchard stuff, and it's fairly similar, except for the vocals. But there's a couple of guys who sing lead tracks on here. They're not even like Blue Oyster Cult members, but one song, The Siege and Investiture of Baron Von Frankenstein at Castle Wissaria, that song kicks total ass. Uh, Del Rio song I really like. Rest of it's kind of hit or miss, but it's back to being spooky and creepy and weird, and it was a good album. Not great, but it was a good album. Number 6. Only at number 6, but a lot of people are probably also going to put it only at number 6 because the other stuff is way better. Yeah, it's Agents of Fortune, but it's got a couple of the biggest songs on here. Of course, Don't Fear the Reaper. ETI's on here, another probably a top 5 song by them. This Ain't the Summer Love, great. Rest of the stuff, Revenge of Vera, Gemini, they sing it in Gemini, but as you read that's Gemini. Tattoo Vampire, they're okay. I don't know. It's top heavy with hits. The rest of it's you can kind of skip. All right, where are we at? Everything here out is an absolute classic. Number 5, I'm gonna go Tyranny and Mutations. Red and Black's on there. That's a kick-ass song. OD'd on Life Itself. That's a great song. Hot Rails to Hell. 7 Screaming Disc Busters. That's all good stuff. The second album. I mean, they're still weird and creepy and rocking and kicking ass. But we're going to go a little further. CULTOSAURUS ERECTUS. Others probably would have put Tyranny Mutations ahead of it, but not me, because this one came out in one of the greatest years of metal ever, in 1980. Martin Birch did this one, returned him to form. Martin Birch, you don't know who he is, look him up. He did all the good Deep Purple stuff, all the good Black Sabbath stuff, all the Iron Maiden stuff up to, all the good albums, actually. I did some White Snake, Rainbow. Brought these guys back from sucking. CULTOSAURUS ERECTUS, Black Blade's great, Monsters is great, Lips in the Hills is good, Unknown Tongue, Marshall Plan. That song should be stupid, but it's actually really good. Alright, number 3. First one, Blue Oyster Cult. Transmaniacon MC's on here, Stairway to the Stars is great, Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll is great, She's as Beautiful as a Foot, that's weird. And it's also got, if you got the remastered one, it's got that St. Cecilia album on there. Workshop Telescopes. It's just cool and weird and dark. Love it. Love it. This is what we love them for. This is like the weird, like, what's going on with this? Look at the cover. You don't see the members of the band or nothing like that, because they are kind of like one of the ugliest looking bands ever. Everybody in this band is even shorter looking than AC/DC. But it's a little weird and ominous. It gives you a good vibe going into it. Alright. Before I get to the top 2, got to give out some shout outs here. Classic Cult. I thought when I first got this, when the movie The Stand came out, the TV movie, The Stand, the Stephen King one. Alright, when The Stand came out, Don't Fear the Reaper was in it, and I didn't know this whole album was re-recordings until I dug deep and got the, the remastered box set I had of the first 3 Blue Oyster Cult albums. Like, wait a minute, sounds a little different. Then I actually looked a little bit deeper in the line notes. These are re-recordings, but they kick ass. I actually prefer a lot of the versions of the songs on to here, like Harvester of Eyes. Love that song. ME262 is on here. It was just really good. Godzilla and Don't Fear the Reaper sounds almost exactly like you would think it was like just remastered because of the production, but it was dead on. I like this album. A lot of other people like this. Nobody likes re-recordings, but this one is probably one of the best re-recorded albums ever. Quiet Riot stuff I had was in Kiss. Oh, the Kiss sounded almost exactly like it too, but you could always tell there was something off. This was what sounded different. I thought made it even better. All right, the top 2 albums. I might be slightly controversial here, but I'm putting Secret Treaties as number 2. Most people would probably put this as number 1, and I can't really argue with them about that. But Career Evil starts it off. Subhumans on there. Dominance and Submissions on there. ME262. Cagey Cretins. Harvester of Eyes. Flaming Telepaths and STYRANNY. There ain't a dud on there. Every song is all killer and absolutely no filler. There's nothing you would skip over in this one. And the remastered ones even got their Born to Be Wild like studio version. It's just awesome. Every song's... This is basically, you see them, most of these songs are in their set list. Or should be in their set list. This is number one. What did I miss? The whole reason I'm into this band in the first place. Fire of Unknown Origin. Because movie Heavy Metal. Well, actually, go back a little bit further. Flipping through my older brother's record collection, I saw this in there. I was like, what the hell is this? This is like the creepiest looking album cover. This can't be good. But I remember the name. And then when I first started getting into metal in the early 90s, I remember Heavy Metal was being shown on TBS late at night. And they said, the music of Black Sabbath and Journey and Blue Oyster Cult. I remember seeing that in like the commercial before. Like, Blue Oyster Cult, that's a weird album cover and record collection. And then I'm waiting the whole movie. It's like, oh, I know what that is. That was... It's like, then I heard Veteran of a Psychic War. I was like, that's got to be them. And it was them. And that is probably my favorite Blue Oyster Cult song. It's just cool and creepy. Set the mood for it. Then I actually listened to the whole album. Whole album's great. Burning for You's on there. Here's a little CD version of it. Fire of Unknown Origin starts with Burning for You. Veteran of a Psychic War. Soul Survivor. Thing kind of comes off to me almost like a concept album. Like if you go back to IMAGINOS, they took like songs from every album. It's supposed to be one big concept from that their producer was working on forever. They never like quite, you know, it was never quite fulfilled. But this Heavy Metal, Black and Silver, I think that was written for the movie. Probably was. Vengeance, The Pact. I know they wrote a whole bunch of songs for the movie. Ended up being on this album, but the only one that they actually used, Veteran of Psychic War, which they just wrote off to the side anyway, threw it on this album. Absolute favorite. Other honorable mentions. There's 4 official live albums. 4. There's like a ton of other ones that you see like on Amazon or something, but this is the early stuff from the first 3 albums. On Your Feet or On Your Knees. It's really good. Some Enchanted Evening. This is a couple albums after that came out before Mirrors. They put out expanded versions of this with like the whole concept, but they didn't double up any of the songs from this and On Your Feet, On Your Knees. That's why this one's only a single disc. And then a couple years later, this one, ETI, Extraterrestrial Live. This is pretty good too. And then from, you know, their oldies time, but still kind of a good album. Not so bad. Long Day's Night. They did this on the summer solstice. It's kind of like an outdoor show underneath a shed, and they did on like what, June 21st, the longest day of the year. It's good. It's got some hits. It's out of print too. That's about all I want to say. If you're gonna buy they got a lot of hits, but where's my greatest hits? You can find this one in like any store. This is the only one you can ever seem to find, but if you can find like a double disc version or out of print Workshop of Telescopes greatest hits, I'd say get that because they got more hits that'll fit than just this thing. Want to make this brief, but we're already at 20 minutes, so there you go. If you agree or disagree, leave some comments. All the really stupid ones, though, I will say I do delete them. Like, I remember my Queen video where I did the worst to best. Guys like, why would anybody listen to Queen? All their albums are bad. All right, you delete it. Stuff like that, you're automatically gone. Anything, like normally the whole toy videos I make on this channel, they all get like positive ones. But these get like some really weird ones because I know the rock fans are passionate. These are my opinions. They might be different from yours. Leave a comment, but be nice. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. All the weird ones I just delete anyway, so you know,